Hi everyone, Kelly Bear here. As promised, I am back with another video. This is going to be choosing a deck for the Tarot Advent that will be starting on Sunday the 1st of December. For those of you who are like, quoi? I am doing a little project and I am inviting people along for the ride to pick a deck and draw 3 cards from it every single day, putting those cards aside afterwards, so that you sort of work your way down through all of the cards, and then on Christmas Day you'll be left with 6 cards that you can have as a reading, as a message for the new year, or whatever you want to sort of do a 6-card reading for. But yes, you sort of utilize these 3 cards each day in whichever way you want. Maybe you want to like write a haiku, maybe you want to create a playlist and add a song each day that this sort of reading or these cards sort of evoke in you. Journal it, use it as a 3-card daily tarot reading for the day ahead or the day that's just been. I don't know, you do you. So anyway, that's like the sort of Cliff's Notes version. So which deck am I going to work with? I have pulled 4 out. I genuinely don't know which one I'm going to go with. When I did the video explaining the project in sort of more detail, I'll try to remember to link that down below in the description box should you want to go see that if you haven't. You can sort of utilize this project to get out of it whatever you want. So maybe you want a deep dive study on the Thoth system or the Marseille system. Maybe you have a deck that has always just hella confused you because it veers so wildly from like a system that you're used to. Like maybe it sort of says it's Smith-Waite based, but the imagery is just like wild. I don't know. Maybe you want to do some shadow work. Maybe you want to do some inner child work. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe you just want to like just work with a deck you've not worked with for ages. You kind of miss it and you want to reacquaint yourself with it, and you just feel like doing little readings with it every single day will just be nice. I don't know, you do you. So I have 4 different decks that sort of do 4 different things. I will be doing a different thing with them depending on which deck I pick. So the first one I have here, and I've just mentioned it actually, is the Thoth Tarot. I have the huge version, which is my preferred version. I say preferred, I don't own any other Thoth decks, but I have seen other Thoth decks and, had a look at them in, other people's ones and in shops and what have you. The classic back. So a few years ago, I really got into the Thoth deck. I did sort of a Thoth study and surprisingly enjoyed it, but I didn't really take on board a lot of the extra layering that goes onto it with regards to like the Kabbalah and the sort of astrology and things like that, because that's just never really been my jam. And I also kind of have issues with organisations like the Golden Dawn being quite appropriative, people just taking what they want from certain systems and bunging it in with something else. I don't know, but the artwork is gorgeous and surprisingly had very good readings with this. So this would be a Thoth system study because I sort of have read with it on and off, but I wouldn't class myself as a Thoth reader, so I guess it would be sort of diving deeper into the system. It's the same system technically as the Smith-Waite, but they go about it in sort of different ways. I don't have any of Aleister Crowley's work. I do have 2 other books though. One that I've read and one that I haven't read. So this one is the one that I've read. This is the Lon Milo Duquette, Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. So that could be a resource to utilise. And this one, I can't remember. I think it might be Anna Astral Lady Tarot that recommended this one. I can't remember. I might be misremembering that. But it's the Tarot Handbook by Angelis Arion. This is out of print, so I had to get this secondhand. But I think it's quite readily available should you wish to procure a copy. And I heard good things. I think it was Anna, and if so, she said good things about it. Whoever recommended it said good things about it. There's also one that Tom Benjamin recommended as well in one of his more recent Thoth tarot videos. I think it's Thoth Girl Summer video, or a sort of one not long after that. I can't remember the name of the book. So yeah, so Thoth, it would be a Thoth system study. It'd be sort of going into the next layer. So I did the first surface layer study with it, and then it would just be going deep. And I find that's just generally how I do things. I sort of skirt through the surface of something, and then I sort of I circle back around. Sometimes I circle back around immediately and dig deeper. Sometimes I take a break from something and then come back to it. Okay, so the next deck I have here is Tarot of the Crone. I had shared this recently in a video or in a live. I think it was in a live I did, and also in the card backs video that I did, the VR card backs VR to integrative healing with Sadhana, because it's the plainest card backs I have in any deck. They're just literally black, no subtle pattern, no artwork, nothing. They're just black, and I do find that a little but I feel like it's meant to be sort of indicating the void, maybe, because it's the Crone Tarot. This is a deck I have read with, but found it very confusing. It's renamed some of the cards. The artwork is wildly different to what we would be used to in any sort of what we would think of as more of a classic tarot deck, or sort of a clone of a classic tarot deck. It's unusual. It also feels very wintry, because for me, sort of autumn and into winter, they're the darker days. It's the time for reflecting, for shadow work, for spirit work. And then I think I'll be doing what Corey Hutchison over at New World Witchery does, which is for a certain section or certain part of January, he takes what he calls the Witch's Rest, where he doesn't do anything, no magical work or anything. I don't think he even does any divination work for like 2 or 3 weeks of January, just to really, when do we take a break from that sort of deliberately, So yeah, this is an unusual deck, but intriguing. And so yeah, this would be more of a deep dive study with a deck that I've had for a while, but it confuses me. It has its own little guidebook. It's not huge. It's got a little bit of information per card. It does have colour images, which is quite interesting for such a wee book. But yeah, I don't know how I'd get on with it. It feels like there'd be a lot of intuition involved, but it could be interesting, right? So that's another option. The third deck that I have put aside is the Tarot of Vampyres, which was meant to be my October study deck, and I did not do any October. Oh shit. I forgot that, because I've got the book out, because I've been reading the book, that this didn't have the book to hold the cards in place. I hate the cardstock. I think it's the most recent printing of this deck. This deck is now out of print, which is why I ended up just finally pulling the trigger and buying it, even though it kind of irritates me. If you want to see me get really angry and frustrated, go watch my walkthrough of this deck. Come on. I don't know what she's doing. 9 of Scepters. It's very like 90s goth, very sort of romantic goth, very much a sort of vibe I've enjoyed over the years in my own personal style from time to time. I've been known to rock a medieval inspired gown, or a Victorian style gown, goth outfit in my time. So yeah, it makes me feel like a late teenager, early 20s again, in that sense. But there's just something about it that, well, there's a bunch of things about it that sort of irritate me. Like I said, go check out that video, the walkthrough, if you want to see. I will not belabor the point here. But everyone was like, read the book. The book is amazing. The book is so good. So I've read the entire, not the entire book, that's the wrong way. I've read up to when it starts getting to the cards, and I'm surprised, right? So it goes, this is the bit that leads up to, and then it says Major Arcana. Now, the way people were going on about this book, it made it sound like, you know, like this much was going to be like just digging into like just the tarot and how it talks about the Thoth system and blah, blah, blah. This book wasn't all that in a bag of chips so far that people seem to say it was. I don't know. And people like the way it talks about the cards. So I was sort of doing, there's an exercise in it that there's a chapter about how you create your, what do they call it? Bloody hell, this would be in the, should have organised this beforehand at the front. It's the kith and kin, where you pick out your like particular cards for yourself, like your sort of your card that is associated with you astrologically and all that kind of thing. And so I picked those out, and then I went and read the entries for those cards. So yeah, the entries for the cards that I did read, there was only like 3 or 4 that I read last night. Well, you know, were fairly interesting, but I wouldn't say it's like revolutionary the way it's not blowing my mind the way something like Charlie Claire Burgess's Radical Tarot does, which just every entry that I read, literally just I'm like, pfft, revelations and mind-blowing, just absolute, just dynamite stuff. This book is probably going to be one of my favourite tarot books ever, and I will recommend it to everyone because it is that fucking good, right? So yeah, jury's out on this, but this would be a getting to know a deck, because I have not done any readings with this. It's just, it'll be acquainting myself. Hello, you know, let's see, is it a standoff like bitchy goth, or is it like one of those goths that like has resting bitch face but they're like actually just like really goofy, which is, to be fair, most of the goth people I know and have also known over the years we're just a bunch of dogs that look cool or not cool depending on your personal opinion about goth culture. And the final deck that I have is as a contender is a deck that I have had for a really long time. I've had this deck for probably at least 8 years. It's the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. Which edition is this? I don't know, like 3rd edition? I couldn't tell you. I probably could tell you because it will say it on here somewhere, but you know. This is a deck that I've read with loads. This deck comes out on and off throughout the year. It always pretty much comes out spooky season, and I tend to also work with it throughout. I get winter again, because winter is like still to me like spooky spirit season. It's the turning inwards, it's the sort of psychic time, it's the you know, do you know, am I explaining myself well? And it's a fun deck, and it's very sort of, you know, it's dark and it's good for ambient evenings because it's just got that lovely just vibe about it. But I've only ever had the little white book that comes in the clamshell box. I never got the book that's been written separately by Karen Mahoney of Bubba Studios, and it always seemed out of print. And then I remember seeing that it was like going for stupid money, and I'm like, well, I'm not paying that. And then someone very kindly told me, when I was talking about this deck, I believe, that the book has been available, I think, for a while, that it's been reprinted. So last month I grabbed myself a copy. So this wouldn't be a reacquainting, it wouldn't be a deep dive. Well, I guess it would kind of be a deep dive. It wouldn't be a getting to know a deck for the first time. It wouldn't be learning about a particular system. It would be a just getting to like grips with because I love this deck, and I obviously have my own read of the cards, seeing as I've like had it for that long. I'm really interested to see what Karen actually talks about it for each card in this book. I'm excited. I'm actually, now that I'm holding this book and talking about it, I'm actually getting quite excited. That could be an indication, right? So do I go with this one and I just oh, this is really tricky. So anyway, so yeah, the other option is just to just get cozy with a deck that I know well, but get to know it even better. I guess it would be a deep dive with this deck. I also will probably be utilising this book with any sort of Smithwaite based deck, depending on which deck I pick. And then I'm thinking, I keep meaning to sort of pull this out a bit more, unfortunately named because Llewellyn kind of took the title from another person that they didn't didn't publish, but they thought, yay, let's take the title. I don't know if that's what happened. I'm just keeping it vague because it's, you know, I don't know the details, but you know, it's still, from what I've read bits of it, it's a good book, and it is supporting a non-binary and disabled author, so I also wanted to support, you know, queer spoony writers, you know, as a queer spoony myself. So yeah, so what do we do? What do we think? Okay, do we go Bohemian Gothic with the actual guidebook, the extra guidebook, the separate guidebook, Phantasmagoria book with the it doesn't come separately, but it's, you know what I mean, the guidebook that comes with the Tarot of the Vampyres by Ian Daniels. Do I dive in with that, or is that just going to irritate me? Do I go ham on Thoth for a second time and dig deeper on that system, or do I sort of finally properly get to know a deck that confuses me? And I'm quite excited holding this one as well. Ooh, I think it's going to be down to, it's going to be between these two. What do you think? I'm not going to choose right now, actually. I think I am going to I'm going to ponder on it, and maybe I will reveal tomorrow which one I picked. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which one would you go with? Would you not go with either of those and go with one of the other two? Am I setting myself up for too much work and sort of going to overwhelm myself at Christmas season, which is always a busy season, by diving with this? Maybe this is more of a like quiet time of the year thing. Is this just going to irritate me? I don't know. Let me know. I'm leaning towards one of these. Again, now I'm holding them both in my hands. It's feeling like this one. I don't know. I will have a think. I'll either talk about it on Instagram later, or I will reveal it tomorrow here and on Instagram. I don't know. Anyway, this is getting a bit long, so I'm going to go which deck. If you're joining in on this little sort of tarot project, this little tarot advent, let me know which deck you're choosing to work with. I've had so many wonderful replies both here on YouTube and on Instagram. Instagram has kind of gone a little bit wild, actually. I actually wrote down some of the ways people are going to be doing, sort of interpreting this project. Someone said they're going to be just drawing a major card a day, so that's 21 majors leading up to I guess the 21st, and then you could pull the final card for the solstice. Actually, the solstice is on the 21st, so it wouldn't quite stretch to Christmas, but you know. Someone said, I think it was Melina Teresa, who said doing a putting them in envelopes, like picking all the cards beforehand and putting them in envelopes and literally having like an advent that you open each day, which is fun. I think Lisa Papez did something like that last year. A lot of people said that you're going to be using a festive deck, like a Christmas or Yuletide themed deck, which seems really cool. And then I've seen a couple of people saying that they really want to like get au fait with like a system, a particular system that you want to like dig into Thoth or Marseille. So really, really cool. I'm sure there'll be other ideas popping up throughout the month. I'm excited to see what everyone sort of comes up with. So yeah, we're at 20 minutes almost, so I'll leave it there. I'm trying to keep these videos brief, so that it's because I'm going to be making more of them. I want to keep it snappy. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that wherever you are safe and you are well, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao!